Pues tenemos con nosotros al piloto de Andretti para esta temporada número 9. Tenemos a André Lotterer, piloto muy especial para nosotros porque tiene ascendencia latina. André, thank you for coming to this interview. So let's start the questions. Okay, first question, how do you find this Andretti project?
I think it's really nice. Now, especially with the Porsche powertrain, it's a good combination, and it's been a very successful team in Formula E, winning races, and also last year they were better than the Works team. So I'm very happy that I'm able to join this team.
And as an Andretti driver, do you think that you could try another championship that they compete there, like for example IndyCar or maybe Formula One in the future?
Um, at the moment, no. To be honest, I'm fully focused on the Formula E project, and also I'm a Porsche Works driver in the Endurance Championship. So I'm going to have a busy program, and I'm happy in Europe. So I'm not thinking about trying IndyCar or the series now.
And how do you find yourself and the team for the season 9?
Very happy. The teams welcomed me very nicely and also brought my engineer. So the communication is good. The collaboration with Jake, my new teammate, is also very good. So yeah, it's a very nice team. We're working well already together. So I'm looking forward to the season to have a good time and mainly to be successful. Yes.
And what are the objectives for this season?
Well, in Formula E or in motorsport in general, everyone wants to win, and so do we. And the good thing in Formula E is we all have the same cars, the same tires, the same power. So the chances are quite high for everyone who do well in this paddock, even if you're a private team or a works team. So the equality is quite good. So if we do a good job, I think we have our chances.
We heard in the press conference that the Hankook tires were struggling because they were harder than the Michelin ones. What do you think about that?
They are what they are, and it's the same for everyone in the field. So we need to find the best way to make them work and to extract the best potential out of them. Yeah.
And also they told that these new Gen 3 cars were fragile and they were not made for contacts during the races. What do you think? This is going to be better or maybe worse for the sport, for the racing?
To be honest, I don't know so much about that yet, let's say. We will see in the races, I guess. For sure there will be contact, as it always is in Formula E. And I don't know how the front wing will react when you touch a little bit the car, how the side pods. The side of the car looks quite strong, so we don't have the wheel arches, which sometimes was an issue last year, flying around or touching the tire. So let's see. We always try not to touch each other, but the city tracks are quite narrow, and we can't avoid it sometimes.
We saw that here the Gen 3 cars are between 3 and 4 tenths of a second quicker than the Gen 2. What do you think about the handling? Do you think this is going to improve these times?
Well, the car is lighter and more powerful, so it's good to see that it's faster. It's still very early at the moment, so we hope we can go even more faster. But on city tracks, of course, it's a bit more challenging with more power. And as you mentioned before, the Hankook tires are a bit less grip, but they last longer. So it will be for sure challenging on city tracks, but let's see. Straight line will be faster, corners a bit slower.
And what about the charging? Because they are going to try this season the charging. Do you think this is going to improve the racing because there is more strategy to play with?
For sure, it will be interesting in terms of strategy. I think they want to implement the charging from Berlin. I don't know which race number that is, but it's quite soon. And yeah, it would be interesting, coming in the pit lane, doing that the fastest way possible, and then use it as an advantage. So let's see how it works.
And also these Gen 3 cars are four-wheel drive. Which is the difference to drive a proper Formula car and then a four-wheel drive Formula E car? Sorry.
It's not fully four-wheel drive. It's four-wheel brake Um, but on the acceleration is only rear-wheel drive at the moment. There are plans for the future that we can also use it on the acceleration, but it means four-wheel brake, so we are recuperating energy on the front and on the rear. So the stopping power is all recovered into energy, so this is good. And there is of course a differential in the front of the motor, but it's also limited for everyone with a certain locking ratio, so you cannot use the full potential of the differential to brake very late, so you will have some inside wheel locking. But this is more technical information um, than a feeling. But yeah, hopefully we can see soon that we can also drive with four-wheel drive, because that will improve the traction a lot.
What do you think about this track, the Ricardo Tormo circuit? Do you think maybe an X here again is possible, or maybe in another location here in Spain?
Well, it's a really good place for us to come and to do this official testing, because we have space, we are in good weather usually, but it is not the best track for us drivers to drive, because the corners are very long and they're not at all like a street track we have in this championship, which the corners are more 90 degrees. And Formula E car doesn't have much downforce, and the tires, you know, they're all groove tires, all weather. So these long corners, we're like fighting the car a lot and trying to chase. The setup for this track is very difficult, and it's a completely different story when we go to the city tracks. So in that regard, it's not ideal for setting up the car, but it's a good place to check all the systems and the reliability of the car, because if there are problems, there's enough runoff, etc.
And the last question is, if you have to talk to someone that is not watching Formula E, what would you say to getting him watching Formula E?
Well, start watching a race if you have time, and then you will immediately enjoy, I think, because the show that Formula E provides is very unique. No other championship can provide such a interesting battle between the drivers, and no one knows who will win until the end. Not like Formula One, where it's always the same winning, you know. So here is always different, and there's a lot of action, cars touching, and it's more like watching a boxing match, you know, between 20 guys. So just by watching this, I think you should enjoy it.
So, André, thank you very much for attending this interview. Muchísima suerte, good luck, and
Gracias.
see you on the grid.
Thank you.